What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Zaynomics Gaming. Today we are reviewing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, just the campaign though. We are not reviewing the whole game. We did get the early access to the campaign due to the pre-order. Now this is not the full game review. Just remember that this is only the campaign review. We will have a full review out next weekend once the rest of the game releases. But first, I wanted to give a statement regarding the latest news in Destiny 2 regarding Bungie and everything that has happened this past week. I will have a video releasing tomorrow that will cover all of that information. I wanted to wait to process all of this information and wrap my head around everything that has happened. All of this will be covered in tomorrow's video, and I felt like I needed to say that just because I do regularly cover Destiny 2 content. Now, we are reviewing Modern Warfare 3's just a campaign, like I said, since I was able to get early access of this campaign with the pre-order option. So if you did pre-order Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, you are able to play the campaign a week early. And before we dive in, I want to mention that this campaign is extremely different from previous titles. It is nowhere near the same as far as the base function of it. Even the storytelling is a lot different than what I'm used to. More on that in a bit. First, I want to touch on the gameplay and the graphics. This should be a no-brainer, as Call of Duty always has just top-notch graphics and gameplay. The way the guns shoot, everything involved with attachments, and just the way the game feels and plays and how beautiful it actually looks. In short, the graphics and the gameplay is amazing. 10 out of 10 all the way in that regard. The visuals and the gameplay are some of the best the series has ever seen, honestly. Now, unfortunately, things take a turn for the worst, in my opinion anyways. Regarding the actual campaign and the missions involved, they have tried to implement an open mission experience in what they call weapons-free missions. Essentially, you have an open environment and you can look for supply boxes, kill streaks, and supplies. They're littered throughout the open area that you are allowed to play in. Now, this does give you the option on how you can tackle these missions, as it feels like the developers were taking a play from Assassin's Creed. In most of these missions, you will want to strategize and use stealth with silenced weapons. A few of these missions are fine, but a great deal of this campaign follows this concept, and it really takes away from the main story for me. I want to play impactful missions with Price, Ghost, and Gaz, and all the other members. During most of these missions, I felt as if I was in the middle of a Warzone match. That's not what I want to play at this moment, especially when the developers are stating that this is a campaign. This is like a story. This is the main, I don't want to say main bread and butter, but this is the story that the main game revolves around. Especially with PvP and everything else involved, it always gravitates and goes towards that main campaign. Another issue I have is the AI's awareness. It needs to be toned down a bit. If you are off in the distance laying in muddy grass, an enemy should not see you at 500 meters when it's pitch black outside. If you do not stick to stealth and you call in a bomber kill streak, now you have just alerted the whole area and they will call in reinforcements repeatedly. It almost feels like a survival style zombies where you have just waves and waves of enemies. To me, it feels like the developers decided to grab elements from survival, Warzone, and a little bit of dialogue to tie in into the main campaign. It just speaks to me as recycled content. It feels as if they were trying to push this out as quickly as possible. There are only a few missions where you squad up with your team. The rest of the missions feel like Warzone/extraction practice mode. Then after you complete the task, your squad is miraculously in the background conducting business, like interrogating the enemy and such. But they're not actually with you through the main parts of the mission. They're just in here on comms, talking to you. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I am concerned with multiplayer/PvP as we're getting back old maps, pretty much all of them. I do not think most players will enjoy this approach. Generally, I've always enjoyed first-person shooter war style games, but I feel like a lot is missing with this title, especially with the campaign. You do not, if you are mainly a campaign player, you will be definitely upset with the way the game, with the way that they have went about the story. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding this campaign. I'm sure you've seen plenty of reviews and stuff from IGN, Paul Tassi. There's been a lot of different creators that have vocally spoken and given a review of this campaign, and it just falls flat, completely flat. Like I said, it feels like you're playing Warzone with bots. That's essentially what it feels like. Unfortunately, I don't want to judge the game as a whole right now, because we don't have the actual full game out right now. The game itself plays very well. Like I said, the visuals, the graphics, all of that stuff is just phenomenal. But the way the story is, it does concern me quite a bit, especially with the maps that we're getting back. It just feels like a completely recycled game that they're just trying to rush out. And I have been led astray because I know in my beta review, I talked very highly of Modern Warfare 3, and I do not want somebody to be wasting their money on something that they may not necessarily want to play. There really is no innovation. Pretty much all they've done is taken stuff from multiplayer and put it in the campaign, which to me is just a way to bridge the gap and make it easier for them to develop the game itself. You only, like I said, you only have a couple of missions where you're actually working with your squad. Other than that, you're in these weapons-free missions, and you have the ability to tackle the task at hand of your choosing. You could do whatever you want to do. And for me, I don't really like that. I'll just play Warzone. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's definitely an eye-opener. I am concerned for the direction that the series takes possibly next year. But at this point, it is very alarming to me. Now for my final verdict of the campaign. If you pre-ordered this game to enjoy the next step in the series, then you will be let down from a story perspective, as the game as a whole feels like a Modern Warfare 2 DLC. And let's be clear, I'm okay with that. If they decided, hey, we're going to make a DLC for Modern Warfare 2, and this was the DLC, I'm all for it. But to market this as a brand new title, charge $70 for the base game, and then turn around and try to get people to pay $100 for the base game plus the season pass, I mean, you'd have to be a hardcore PvP player of Call of Duty to really fork out that kind of money for what I'm seeing currently that's in Modern Warfare 3. The visuals and gameplay are amazing, but the story is not captivating. It does not make me want to do more. Pretty much they're just saying, hey, go to this location, scan this, bam, you get a cutscene. And that's pretty much it. Of course, most people enjoy the PvP of this title. There's a lot of people that just get this game and they don't even play the campaign. They just want to play PvP and that's it. And that's cool. So if you're mainly a PvP player, and I know we don't have that yet, but if that's all you care about, then you'll probably like this. It'll probably be a high rated game for you. However, if you are a OG Call of Duty player, like you played like way back in the early 2000s, and you enjoy the main story, you dabble here and there in PvP, then I would skip this title or wait for it to go on sale during the holidays altogether. The weapons-free missions are not what's needed in story-related missions. As far as the campaign goes, I would prefer to see something like this in like the survival game mode, maybe for like a co-op thing online. That's okay. It is even okay to market this as a Modern Warfare 2 DLC. A more captivating story needs to take place, or they need to put an end to these characters and reinvent the series with fresh material to attract players as well as new players and hold on to the players that you already have. Players will only purchase this type of content for so long before players start to drop off. Through and through, this title feels like a Modern Warfare 2 DLC, and I would prefer that to be the case versus marketing Modern Warfare 3 as a brand new title, especially when you're saying you're bringing back 16 maps. Of course, I will not dabble in spoilers, but honestly, there isn't much to spoil. I hope the new zombies and the PvP side of the game blow me away, or it will definitely be a dud for this year. As far as the campaign goes, I give it a 3 out of 10. As always, if you enjoy this content, like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. It is a free way to support me. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.